Okay, Ben, this is John Smolnick with Norse Valhalla Construction, and I'm out here at 1405 East, 62nd Street in Richfield, and I'm on the flat rolled roofing section. Obviously, here's the steep slope, the asphalt laminated, but back here on the low slope rolled roofing portion, it looks like they use a self-adhered, which I like to see because then there's no protrusions. Majority of the field looks in decent condition. It's not wearing terribly. One thing of concern is the pipe boot here. This has totally been wore off. I don't know if squirrels have eaten it, but now water is just getting right into here, in between the boot and the actual pipe, and water is getting into the attic space. And I can see where the inspector, I'm assuming this is where he pointed out the discrepancies on the roof where it's kind of rippled, and that can be a potential troublesome spot because this inside this void here is just exactly that, a void, and after time that'll break. And there is another layer underneath it of the base sheet, or at least it should be, so that's protected. But you want this nice and taut. You don't want any wrinkles. They do have heat cables up here. That's nice to see because this is a low slope and more potential for ice dams here, so they have this. But in order to fix that, it affects the one above it and so on and so forth. So it has that domino effect where it would all have to be replaced if you want to do it correctly. Somewhat of a silver lining here is they have damage that's consistent with hail. These indentations here are indicative of a hail strike. I've had a couple homes last year I got bought in Richfield for hail damage, and they paid for the entire roof. The only out-of-pocket expense was the deductible. And I'm seeing some of these hail hits on the turtle vents, along with down here in the field. I'm gonna pause and then come back to show you once I'm positioned safely on there that I'm seeing damage that's consistent with wind. Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky, but I'm gonna do my best here. See these shingles here where they're staggered and they're not parallel, they're not in line? That's kind of indicative of wind getting underneath here. This shouldn't be loose like this. And if you see the nail head here, it's pulled free from the nail, consistent with wind that's got underneath here and pulled it loose. And that's just one section that I saw right away. Here, consistent with a hail strike. Another one. This is just all proof I can show to the adjuster that a storm event came through here. So, I mean, if it was my house, I'd place a claim. I'll meet the adjuster out here and make the argument in a professional manner, of course, and see if insurance could get it bought. That's one route. Or I can just give you a bid on what it would cost to have that modified bitumen self-adhered rolled roofing system replaced, and then I would do a bid for the complete flat roof portion. I don't do any kind of bids for patchwork. It's just hard to warranty that. Okay, I'll send this to you. John with Norse Valhalla Construction.